Good morning.
I'm rocking out to that new song.
the sound of the
garbage man outside who will not stop. He's relentless.
Man, dude, how long does it take you to
do the garbage? Good morning.
You have one job.
You had one job. Lovely people. Happy Tuesday.
Good morning.
Good morning. Oh my gosh. So, what day is it?
May the 4th.
May the 4th be with you.
Yeah, I'm wearing my shirt today.
I know. I just wore mine already, so I didn't have it clean.
My mom got me this shirt.
My mommy brought me this shirt. So we always have 3 holidays in 1 week every year. We were just discussing we really should take this whole week off because we've got May the 4th. Everybody knows that's a serious holiday. And then May the 5th. I mean, it's your family's holiday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Tacos all week. And our daughter's birthday this week. So we need to just take the whole week off.
I think we should. I've taken today off, just so you know.
Don't call him anyone. Don't bug him.
I'm going to be watching all my
binge watch movies. Yeah. Yep, that's right. In honor of the child.
Yes, I could watch
all the Mandalorian.
Season 1 and season 2.
That's right. Oh. So, but this is all relevant because this week we're talking about laughter. We're talking about why laughing is so good for you. Why is it healthy?
Yeah, so we're taking a break from all this seriousness.
Yes.
Right?
Like,
so we've been wanting to do this for a while because if you don't know us, don't know her especially, she's funny, she's just snarky and just has a great sense. And this is what really having you as my wife is really just giving me so much joy because you just keep you won't let me take anything seriously, even in the hospital. I'm
don't act like it's me. Don't act like it's me. No. We both got jokes. I brought this beautiful thing out of you.
Oh, that's just because. But
I'm not forcing you to joke when you're dead serious. Joke with me. No, but it's true though. We got jokes.
You're making the nurses laugh, the doctors laugh.
Trying to keep it light, man. But he's right. This is like, if you know us at all, you know that, to be honest, these devotionals are a lot more serious than we normally are just all the time. I mean, we do get into serious conversations, and this is serious business, and it is weighty. There's some gravity to it.
But speaking about our faith, speaking about when we're talking about our relationship with God, it's not and I really get frustrated when people don't go all deeper. They don't understand that God made humor. He
created humor. Yes,
right?
yes.
I mean,
he has a sense of humor all his own.
If you read the Bible, you really take a look. You see the humor in it. Yeah. Right. So there's a lot of humor in
our daily lives. God's funny. We always talk about how funny God is because he just does stuff that's like wink.
Yeah, exactly.
But before we get going, I wanted to make sure you're aware of 2 links that you need to be aware of. So the first things first is the link in our private heart disease support group. So if you're in our private support group, there's going to be a StreamYard link in there. And because of the way Facebook works with private groups, you're going to have to click that StreamYard link for us to see your comments. So if you want to make sure to click that StreamYard link, then we'll be able to see your name and your beautiful face when you comment so we can interact with you. That would be great. Also, for everybody, there is a link to this devotional. So any given week, whenever we're doing these devotionals, you'll see a link there that is to the YouVersion Bible app. And there, if you click that link, it'll take you either to the website where you can follow along there on the devotional we're doing, or if you're on mobile, it'll take you to the YouVersion Bible app, and you can download that app if you haven't already. If you have, it'll just take you to the app, and it'll take you directly to the devotional we're doing at that time, so you don't have to search for it, and you can follow along with us.
Yeah, and so if you are new to our broadcast, what a week to join, right?
To jump on.
Right? So, but if you don't know me, my name is Javie.
I'm Jessica.
And we are with Underdog Ninja. Underdog Ninja stands for 3 things. That is faith, character, and action. Those 3 things are our standards. It's the pillar that we believe helps us move forward and to discover this life, a new life in some cases, when we're fighting heart disease. And our faith gives us clarity. With clarity, that helps us to build our character. And through those two things, we're able to take the proper action needed in our life to live a healthy and fulfilling life.
Absolutely. And you're right. What better week to jump on than the week where we're going to be jokes? I'll be here all week, guys.
Well, exactly. So I'm curious on how this will go, because we saw this devotional finally on laughter, and we're like, wow,
we should do that.
This would be great. So I'm hoping this is.
Hey, if it's not funny, I'll make it funny.
Well, I know you will. That's I trust you. But this is I think is a great devotional after last week. Last week we talked about surrender. And this week we're talking about laughter. And I think it's
a form of surrender. I mean, you're just able to let your guard down and just be like,
right.
Which is half the reason I got
take yourself so seriously.
Right. I mean, life is crazy, y'all. You can't make this stuff up. Like, it's nuts. And we have to step back sometimes and just be like, this is nuts. Like, there's parts of my life where I just laugh now because I can't do anything. I'm past even like, it's just too crazy. I'm just laughing with him and going, I don't know. I'm just amused now. I don't even understand how to even be upset about it anymore because it's just so crazy. So let's.
Yesterday we're talking about everything with the pandemic went through, and how I was saying the first, when this first happened, okay, well, this is gonna, we're being told it's gonna last a few weeks. Right?
And we were like, a few weeks? That's crazy.
Oh, we could do a few weeks though.
Yeah.
But people were flipping out, and then started to get longer, and then there was a rush on toilet paper. Nobody could find toilet paper.
Toilet paper rioting. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, remember that? That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
That
again,
in itself is a joke.
You can't make this stuff up. It's Black Friday up in Costco.
Right. It was.
Yeah.
So can you imagine looking into the future?
And that's the day you show up. It's like on Back to the Future. He's like, whatever you do, Marty, never go to 2020. What the most prophetic thing in a movie ever, I swear, aside from Star Trek. For real. Or what did you say? What's another prophetic movie? You said it was the one with the future, not RoboCop, but the other one.
Aren't all sci-fi movies?
Yeah, but there was this one in particular, you're like, everything's come true.
A lot of Star Trek stuff is.
No, but it's like that. It's like it was like an action movie, but it was a future movie. Something cop. It wasn't RoboCop. It was something. Anyway, Total Recall. That's what it was. Yeah, everything. He'll be like, it's a Total Recall moment.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, where all this stuff happens. So anyway,
even down to the advertising. It's so true. They're walking through the mall, and then it speaks to you personally because that technology is there.
Yeah.
I mean, we see it in our everyday lives. Our phones. In our phones, we talk about something, and then we pick up the phone, and there it is. Right? So now we've gotten to the point where he'll have a good idea, and he'll want somebody to like make it. He'll be like, "Hey, I have this great idea. Somebody out there make this, please."
And then it'll happen.
Yeah.
All right. So you ready to get going?
Yeah, let's get going.
All right, let's go. Okay, so today we're talking about 5 days to a happier outlook. So that's what we're gonna do this week. 5 days to a happier outlook is our jingle for this week.
We should have recorded that.
5 days to a happier outlook. It's like Golden Girls now. That's what I feel like I was channeling there a little bit. It's Golden Girls.
You could have that background music.
Yeah, seriously. Okay, so I'm going to jump in here. Wait, I got to go to the right screen. Okay, 5 days to a happier outlook. Have you ever felt so down that you didn't want to go anywhere or do anything? 2020. You were in a serious funk, yet somehow you managed to gather enough strength to lift the remote and turn on a favorite comedy film or sitcom. I can tell you what probably happened next. Before you knew it, not only were you laughing, but you also had forgotten all about whatever it was that was making you feel down in the first place. That wasn't denial or escape. You simply made a conscious choice to do something to lift yourself out of the doldrums and change your attitude. We have a choice. We can wallow in our misery, or we can make a concerted effort to do something to change our outlook. Getting our daily dose of laughter is one of those efforts. It doesn't require a doctor's prescription. No copayment is involved. It's available to us 24/7, and it's calorie-free. Sounds too good to be true? The Bible says that it isn't. Plenty of scripture addresses the benefits of joy and laughter. The Bible says it's a medicine in Proverbs 17:22. It says that a happy heart has a continual feast, Proverbs 15:15. And it promises that even though we may weep now, we will one day laugh again, Luke 6:21. The concept of changing our attitudes is covered in Philippians, where it speaks about how we should focus on all of those whatsoevers, Philippians 4:8. When we choose to think on whatsoever things are true, noble, right, pure, lovely, admirable, excellent, and praiseworthy, instead of dwelling on whatsoever things are untrue and fear and negative voices in our lives, annoying, worrisome, hopeless, or discouraging things, we are choosing God's foolproof prescription for changing our outlook and our future. But how many times throughout our day and even in our prayers have we started out positive and hopeful only to get pulled back into the stresses and messes of life? Sometimes we don't even realize it is happening. We're praying and praising, but before we know it, we're whining, grumbling, and tattling on this person or that person as if God isn't already fully aware of what's going on in a certain situation, like he's not omniscient. Okay, I can't say the word. This doesn't mean that God is uninterested in our complaints. He is, especially when life is unfair. But he doesn't want us focusing on negative situations so much that we lose sight of our own destiny. He wants us to fulfill his plan for our lives in Jeremiah 29:11. He wants us to know that even though life has its disappointments and hurts, there's still plenty of good, truth, and love out there. Giving our attention to the latter is going to serve us better in the long term. So, in spite of the ups and downs of life, or perhaps even because of the ups and downs of life, the Bible tells us to get our daily dose of joy. Laughter-induced endorphins are beneficial to our health, much like regular exercise. For the record, I hate to exercise, but even I will still try to do it at least 20 jumping jacks a day. Okay, only half of that. I just clap. I just clap. And that's precisely why laughter is my favorite exercise program. It doesn't require breaking a sweat, and there's hardly any risk of injury. Instead of looking around for a highly paid personal trainer, I simply watch more comedies and television, or read the comics, or hang out with funny people. If we can teach ourselves to smile instead of scowl, belly laugh instead of belly ache, and giggle instead of grumble, then we'll be better off for it. After all, God created us with the ability to laugh. It's not something we have to wait to use either. Smiling and giggling are two of the first things a baby learns to do, even before crawling and walking. So the next time you're in the doldrums, wondering how you can lift yourself out of them, remember that a better outlook and more enjoyable life is often just a few hearty laughs away. Job 8:21 says, he will once again fill your mouth with laughter and your lips with shouts of joy. Oh, this is going to be a good week. Perfect timing. Okay, Proverbs 17:22 says, a cheerful heart is good medicine, but a broken spirit saps a person's strength. Proverbs 15:15 says, for the despondent, every day brings trouble. For the happy heart, life is a continual feast. Yep. Luke 6:12 says, one day soon afterward, Jesus went up on a mountain to pray, and he prayed to God all night.
So, I really, where they described it, having.
Good morning, Mom.
Our day is just all full of, say, negative, and it's just been. It could be weeks. Maybe it's not just the day. Maybe it's week after week after week. You're going to work. You're working all day. You come home. You have to do the chores. You have to make dinner. You have to do the dishes, and then go to bed. And then it's back to that, and it's just full of
robotic.
Right. And there's no real excitement. It's just like, right.
Flatline.
or it's very stressful.
Yeah.
And so you're just wanting something to change that pace, the pace of things. And you sit down, and I think that's why, Netflix has made their billions of dollars because they provide a way for you to binge. I think the whole streaming movement, that we are seeing now is really helping us with that. And really, if you think about it, if we didn't have that during the pandemic, there would have been more rioting by soccer moms. Exactly.
But you know what?
5-year-olds.
Let me out. I'm dying in here. I think that was happening anyway. But I was going to say is imagine, back in the day when things weren't on demand. I mean, it's not that long ago. We remember. And it's like, go find something funny to watch and you're subject to whatever's on TV. You know what I mean? You're not like, hey, I know I have this arsenal of things, at my disposal. I can just go download anything. I can go stream anything. It's all on demand. I've got YouTube. I've got podcasts. I've got whatever. I mean, there's like a billion options for you to consume, comedy wherever you want. I mean, there's no lack of content you could be going and doing. I mean, there's so much online, and it's just one of those things where there's no excuse. So I wanted to know my first question of the day. Question of the day. I wanted you to comment below. Let me know if the doctor said to you, okay, the only thing that's going to cure this is you have to go laugh a lot more. Like laughter is going to create the reactions, the endorphins in you that is going to fight this. So you have to go home and find something funny to watch. So what would that show be? What would that show or movie be that you would first think of? That's what I'm going to go watch. Yeah. What's your favorite thing that's your go-to? Like if you need to laugh, what are you binge watching? That is going to do that for you.
I know it's not a show, but I know what you love when you get to these moments where it's just been stressful for weeks on end, right? Mm-hmm. And what you usually do is you binge watch stand-up comedy.
Oh yeah, it has to be good stand-up comedy,
right?
But yes,
right. But you absolutely I love stand-up comedy. Love that. And I remember when we were dating, we went to a lot more in-person stand-up comedy. Mm-hmm. Oh, which is even better. I mean, in-person stand-up comedy. Sometimes it was kind of sketchy, but
that's where you are. Yeah. What city you're in? But oh yeah, I mean, I love stand-up comedy because if you're watching a good stand-up comic, I mean, it's not just a funny movie. There's movies that that are just hilarious. But stand-up comedy, their whole intent is to make you laugh. So if you see a good one, there's no question you're there to laugh.
Yeah, there's a few that you became friends with too. Over time, right?
Yeah. So what's your go-to show? What's your go-to movie? What's the thing that you watch when you just know, like, there's no question if you watch it, you're going to be hysterical. And or who's your favorite stand-up comedian? Yeah. Like, what's your favorite thing to make you laugh?
I love, this. I love like all the old stuff. I love the stuff I kind of
the Carol Burnett show.
Yeah, that and Jerry Lewis, the old, back in the day.
If you watch, we were watching the other day, the old Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Oh my gosh. So the old Tonight Show with Johnny Carson is like, okay, so first of all, he's obviously hilarious, but it's dated, which makes it even better. Mm-hmm. So the stuff that they were allowed to say on TV, so I don't mean like just totally politically incorrect stuff, just the stuff.
Today
it would be. Yes, there's that, which also makes it hilarious. Right. But the stuff that isn't even politically incorrect, it's just stuff.
If you say good morning nowadays, that is.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean? It's clearly going to offend someone.
Right.
Don't tell me how my morning should be. I identify as a bad morning person. But you know what I mean when they say old stuff, like stuff they talked about. These. Especially when you're watching the pilot and you're watching the very first episodes, remember? Yeah. So they weren't really even in a groove yet. And these celebrities were going on the Tonight Show and just talking about whatever. They were like getting into their like private affairs and stuff. They were like, whatever, I'm just here to take people off. And Johnny Carson was like, what are we talking about right now? It's so funny.
It's really great.
Carol Burnett show. Yes, Carol Burnett. Carol Burnett is a genius.
Yes. And then Tim Conway. Oh my gosh.
Tim Conway is ridiculous.
But the thing is, I was thinking about, you're mentioning pilots of shows. You wonder, especially comedy shows. And you watch the pilot of these famous shows.
Yeah.
And you wonder, how did they make it to even having a season?
Oh, because of the first show? I know.
And yet these shows have been pretty epic. So, for example, Friends.
Oh yeah, Friends.
You know?
Yeah. Cult classic at this point.
And shows like Seinfeld, which is
A cult classic
right.
also. Yeah.
It's huge. But if you watch the very first show, it was funny, but
yeah, but nothing compared to like when they were in the thick of it. Yeah, for sure. You had to get chemistry. And that's
exactly.
when you watch the first ones, they're funny because there's no chemistry yet, but then you watch the ones that are later, and so it gets better. But that's why it's even funnier. It's like watching old family videos of like someone when they were younger, and them now, and you watch the old video, and you're just like, what was happening?
Oh, okay. This is weird. When we watched, so The Office, which is great.
Oh, I love The Office. Oh, right? Yeah.
But it was an iteration of
the British one.
The British one.
So I didn't know that The Office was I knew it was British first, but it was a complete recreation of the exact show.
And the same basically the same characters.
Almost the same lines and everything.
Yeah. But it was really bad.
Yeah. Well, Ricky Gervais is super funny anyway.
Right.
But it was like, and so he was like actually the perfect person for the role.
Yeah.
Because he's so passive aggressive in his characters. But yeah, hands down, it was a very weird thing to watch because you could tell that it was definitely British first. Like when you watch the British one, you're like, okay, now I see when Americans took British humor, we make it more of our own version, our own flavor of that humor, but I could see how it would have stemmed from that. But it was so weird because it was the same scenes.
Yeah.
Watching someone else play the same scenes that we think.
Funny.
So anyway, but we could talk for 3 hours about our favorite shows.
Yeah.
But I want to know, again, Annie just showed up. Good morning, Annie. I want to know what we're talking about is laughter and how laughter is good for your soul and how God made this. And it is definitely something that is not only physically good for us. It changes, your body chemistry and but it takes you out of the mode you're in. Like it's a conscious choice. So our question right now, I'm letting the comments come in. And I want to know what your favorite show is, your go-to. If your doctor said, you need to go home and laugh, like that's your prescription. What do you know is the very first thing you would go watch? Like what is going to light you up? No question. What is it that you watch when you are needing to like crack up? Because there's movies where I laugh. I've watched them 600 times and I'll laugh till I cry every time. Like we watched Napoleon Dynamite the other day.
The girls were like, we let them watch it.
Yeah. And they're like,
what is this?
Well, and they were like, it's funny, but you have to like know things about the world in order for it to be as funny as it is. Like you have to realize that like why they made Napoleon Dynamite the way they made it, right. And all of the things around it.
So they're probably a little too.
Oh, they didn't. Yeah. Okay. Teresa says keeping up appearances, Arrested Development, and the movie Hangover. Oh, The Hangover.
Yeah. I haven't watched that in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't. I watched it when it first came out, but I about cried when I watched that. Yeah, that was like one of those movies where you were like, I'm gonna eat my stomach. I was literally laughing so hard. Yeah.
But one of the things that they're pointing out here in the devotional are those times where you're in a great mood. You're laughing. You wake up. And the day looks like it's going to be a perfect day. I mean,
the birds are singing, they're landing on your hands.
Everything it's just funny. You get off to, on the right foot.
Yeah.
And then you go to work or you move on with your day and something happens and you forget about everything.
Or nothing happens. The devil just slowly craps on your day without you realizing it.
Right.
You're like, why am I in such a terrible mood suddenly?
Right. And I think that's happened to all of us. But sometimes we continually do that. So we find ourselves in this pattern. We're feeling pretty good, but then we have to walk into a stressful environment, like a work environment, or even a home environment. Sometimes maybe you find peace at work and then you don't have a good home life, and or things are pretty stressful at home and you really don't want to go back home because it's just going to take away all that good feeling. But I think what happens a lot of times, we allow this bank of good feelings, of humor, of joy, of happiness though that bank, that account that we deposit into, we allow it to be at its minimum, and we let dominate those negative thoughts. We let dominate the stress of our life, because after all, we have to work, right? But we have to, so we make excuses to allow the deposits of all those negative things, the negative stress that's put on us, the bad things that people say to us that we just allow people to do, or we put ourselves in situations where we're doing things for everyone and our energy is poured into all these other things except us. And so we don't allow that, the deposits of joy and happiness. Well, maybe you're saying to yourself or saying to me, well, that does make me happy. Okay. Doing things for other people. Yeah. I could see that. That
makes us happy.
But there's time that you have to take for yourself. You have to put that in, you have to make deposits into your own life, because what will happen is, even though you're doing these things, they'll turn into negative emotion. Your stress goes up, maybe even turns into bitterness
or resentment.
Yep. Rather than the joy it used to feel like to give.
And it doesn't have to be like a lot. I mean, there's times where I have to go make dinner and I just got done with like a bunch of work and I'm like, okay, I'm done working. Okay, straight into making dinner. Like I got to do whatever. So I'll have things, and I just tell my kids, I just got to unplug. So I'm making dinner. They're sitting there, blah, 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 they're doing whatever they're doing at the counter. And I have my wireless earbuds, and I'll put them in. I'll put my phone up on the counter and I'll set it up. And I'll just turn on one of my, like, I'll stream Hulu or Netflix or something like on my phone while I'm making food, turn it up really loud. And I'll just like kind of half watch a show that is a show that nobody else in my house watches. There's some whatever, like ridiculous show or something, or American Idol or so, I just, whatever, I've just got something going that just makes me happy to have going. And I can unplug from like what I'm doing. I'm just like going through the motions of making food. I know how to do it without having to think too hard. It's fine. So I'm doing that. But I'm unplugging. I'm just doing something for myself in the moment to give me mental health. Like I'm laughing, or it's just removing me from whatever else I'm doing, whatever stresses I have. It's just a silly show. And the reason for that is because I've got to transition. It takes us a good 30 minutes with our brain to transition from one activity to the other. I don't know if you know that, but like multitasking, like I have to do a lot of multitasking during the day. And while I'm really good at multitasking, I am a human being. And our brains aren't wired to go between whole projects within 5 minutes. Okay. So it takes like a good 30 minutes. Like if you are working and you're in flow, like where you're creating something or you're writing or you're like in a project mode, like you can't get into that you have to do 30 minutes worth of like transitioning to get into big activities. Or there's small tasks, which I multitask all day, but you have to have like a transition sometimes. So that's what I do to kind of lighten myself up and kind of reset. And then I'm ready for like conversations with the family and dinner and like whatever we're doing. But man, it's like one thing after another, it feels like, if I don't have that break. And that's just a little thing I do for myself. I don't say, hey, everybody, I'm not going to make dinner. I'm just going to walk away from you. And just like, I need some time for me. Cause like most moms would say, well, when am I just walking away and doing a half an hour show for myself? Well, right. So I do that on my phone. Nobody's listening to it with me. It doesn't matter what it is. I just am like unplugging, or I do that with music, where I'm like, maybe it's not laughter in that moment, but we've talked about this before, where I'm like unplugging with just like my favorite music, and it fills me up, and I'm like,
yeah, what fills you up? Because look, it may not be stand-up comedy. It may not be watching some sort of funny show. Whatever it is that puts joy back into that life, that bank of joy that we should all be keeping, what's depositing those good thoughts in you. Maybe it's going outside. Sometimes, we find joy taking a
just going
hike,
for a walk,
enjoying the day. The girls, our kids, in now that it's not as wet and they enjoy just hanging out in the backyard. So we do too. So, man, warm summer
nights. It's the best.
Just sitting back there and just relaxing.
Your sister says Sister Act and Mama's House.
Oh yeah,
Mama's House. Oh my gosh.
You know what?
Show.
But you know what I love about Mama's House and the Carol Burnett show. What I love about that show is the bloopers the most.
Oh, that's the best. Oh yeah, if you find the bloopers on those shows. In fact, that's one of my favorite things too on everything. Like bloopers on anything is great because you can tell that there's inside jokes in their bloopers too.
Yeah.
Like you can tell when they mess up and they're giving each other a hard time, especially in Carol Burnett's show. But
so that we've done that with some of our videos that we've
made. Oh yeah, we have our own bloopers.
And so absolutely. We keep these things because it's funny. But I mean, talk about sometimes stressful. I mean, with all the lights and just trying to get through the material, it's stressful. But we break that up with humor and just being goofy and
absolutely. Well, what about some of the newer stuff that's not like the old stuff? What are some movies for you that are like more recent that just you could watch over and over because they're so funny? I know we said with Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
We have a wide range of humor over here.
You know, we watch. You know what I like is movies that take just serious moments. Okay, that it's just like a serious movie, or it doesn't even have to be a serious movie. It could be an action-packed movie or whatever else, but they slip in this clever humor.
Under the radar humor.
Right.
Yeah.
And even The Chosen,
I know.
Because I mean, some of the characters, even Jesus and how he responds to people.
It's clever.
Just hilarious.
I love clever humor. Witty and clever humor where you're not trying to like but it's
we talked about this, you know, and if you guys, I'm sorry, just give you a heads up, spoiler if you haven't started watching season 2 of The Chosen. But anyway, there's this I think it's the second episode. I think.
I think so.
Right, where Jesus and his disciples, they come and they it's evening. They're looking. They're invited to stay at that guy's house, right?
Yeah.
And this is a wealthy guy.
Yeah.
And the wife's next to him. I think it's the wife. And the next to the man of the house, and the man of the house is greeting Jesus and the disciples and stuff. Yeah. And he says, you guys could sleep here, and there's this room. There's another room over here, but
it's haunted.
But some people say it's haunted. And Jesus goes, "Ooh, I'll take that one." And that was hilarious
because it's like witty, it's clever,
right?
Because there's like some real like thought behind the joke. You know what else is really, really good? Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, that's funny. Seeing the Hulk.
Oh my God!
Because usually the Hulk is
the Hulk. He's not the regular.
He's just all smash, right? And always angry, but that version,
hipster Hulk.
Yeah. Of him just like he's still ticked off, but he's like, whatever. Or no, I like the Hulk in Avengers.
The other one where he's like all up in the suite because he's like the prized fighter of that guy.
No, that's Ragnarok.
Oh, that is?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of a different movie.
No. I'm talking about the last Avengers movie. Right?
Yeah.
And where he becomes more Hulkish, but bannerish, right? He's kind of a mix, but he's more just hippie, no shoes, obviously no shoes.
Oh yeah.
And he's just like whatever.
He's just chill.
This big guy.
He's
posing
reformed
for pictures,
Hulk.
right? It's just hilarious. That was hilarious stuff. But
see, we're big nerds too. So like stuff that what makes you laugh that isn't even supposed to necessarily, like you have to get it. I mean, people find different things funny. I know there's some like engineers that find engineer humor super funny, but like nobody else gets it. Like math nerds and stuff like that. Like I'm a total grammar Nazi, and there's like all kinds of humor that like only the people that want to correct everybody's grammar. I promise I don't do that. I'm not a jerk. Anyway, but I do it in my head because you can't help it. You just like, and so, but I've turned myself into a person who doesn't correct people. But we all like, there's this grammar Nazi humor out there that's like hilarious to me, and it's like a little like club because and everyone else is like, I don't know why that's funny, and I don't care. Right. And so you get this nerdy humor that you're like part of a group, part of a club, like it's like an inside joke. Inside jokes are my favorite because there's words that we say. Actually, you don't even have to say words. There's jokes we have with a look, and we'll be in a situation and we'll look at each other and we're dying and we both know why. And so having things you can laugh at all the time, just having a sense of humor about things in general is so relieving. It's so relieving.
The thing is,
she says, I love watching my grandkids' YouTube channel. Oh, watching kids on camera.
Yeah.
That's one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
We did, man, it's been a couple years. Anyway, so yeah,
it's been a couple years.
We allowed the girls to take over the studio and let them be more sports commentators.
Oh my gosh, we should do this again next year.
They're big football fans, and so allowing them to give their opinions and things like that. That was kind of fun. But
yeah, it was funny.
But it's the importance of humor, because look, describing it as good medicine is real. I mean, how many times you're going through something hard, maybe even heartbreak, some stress, and the humor, the joy is that salve that goes over those wounds, and it eventually can heal those wounds. And that's why I believe in this fight against heart disease, it's the joy that you find in life.
Yes.
Right? You've been given this second chance. You've been maybe given a third, fourth chance at this point, but you're still here. And you find yourself in that dark place and you're like, well, how can I get out of it? You're saying all these things. Yes, I need to, I need to focus on my nutrition. I know I need to be active, but I'm at a point where I don't even want to get out of bed. I don't even see the point. And it's like what we discovered a few weeks ago in our devotionals, where when we're saying things like that, we're saying no. We're saying no to God. God is giving us these opportunities. He's giving you this gift of life. And us not going after it, us not taking advantage of what he's put in front of us, is us saying, nope, no thank you, and closing the door on him, on his open door. We're closing the door, right? That cage, the cage door, right?
Right.
And keeping us locked in that dark place because we don't know how. We're fearful. We're full of the emotion of anger and distress and whatever that is, that's that gravity that's keeping you there. We're so locked in. We're not willing to be brave, to budge, right?
Yeah.
And to have enough courage to step out through that door. And what I'm telling you is the easiest thing you can do is start with the things that give you joy. If it's music, if it's gardening, if it's hanging out with your grandkids, watching your grandkids.
Well, this is something that Annie put up. She says, I don't usually watch comedy movies, but I love to watch my husband watching them and listening to my husband laugh. It warms my heart. So you get joy through his laughing at these movies. It gives you, you're amused, you're filled. It gives you joy. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And I know, Annie, that there's nothing, there isn't nothing that amuses you. So I want to know, what amuses you, Annie? Do I amuse you like some sort of a clown? Like, do I amuse you?
Only certain people will get that.
See? And so movie references are one of our favorite things.
But, okay, so who doesn't like to hear a baby laugh?
Oh, my gosh.
I think that is God's gift. Right?
Oh, but those videos where the baby's laughing hysterically.
Yeah.
Like hysterically. And that's the other thing. So one of our kids' favorite shows in the world, and we watch this show as a family religiously because it's just so perfect for just the evening while we're eating dinner or whatever, is we watch America's Funniest Home Videos. Yeah. And if you
classic, right?
Classic, but they're still doing it. Of course, Carlton runs it now, so it's the best.
Yeah.
I always call him Carlton. I know it's not his name, but he's Carlton for me forever. But it's the best show because it just gets better and better. They've really gotten better because the internet and the videos that are available.
And they're thriving. Yeah. And they're thriving through the pandemic. So this is the great thing about watching that show and the pandemic. People are at home. Guess
Right.
what? They
Yeah.
shot videos.
Oh,
They went
yeah.
bored. So there's a lot of
Yes.
material. So you're seeing a bunch more.
Well, even funnier material, because now people have all their quarantine videos.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're so funny. And so our kids get it. Our kids are like, I want to watch something funny. I want to watch something funny. So their favorite thing is to just belly laugh like watching these people like do whatever bonehead thing they're doing. And they're just like, it's so funny. You know, even look, we find humor in everything. We like to watch House Hunters because it's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're like, first of all,
But we get snarky.
Because that's our joy. Who's buying a house?
We have to throttle it back a little bit because it kind of.
It got a little out of control.
I could feel the Holy Spirit kind of like, hey.
First of all, it was funny because we were like, "What do you do for a living?"
Right.
I'm an
I'm a barista.
I'm a barista, and which isn't a terrible job, but they're in the very expensive neighborhood. And also, I am a meditation expert or something. I don't know. Like it was just like
right, and they're gonna buy a $4 million home.
I know. I'm like, where are these jobs?
And renovate it.
Where are these jobs? And then, but then it's also hilarious because our kids love this. We've turned our kids into a little bit of a judgmental tone on home decor. But I'm not sorry, because who doesn't like judging home decor? So we were watching any of these house shows, and our kids love HGTV now, right? Because first of all, there's nothing safe to watch on television anymore with your 10-year-olds. There's nothing. I mean, they cuss in Avengers now. So it's just like, it's out there. So HGTV and the Magnolia Network, which is our new favorite. Magnolia Network over every network in the universe, by the way. If you haven't seen Magnolia Network yet, go buy Discovery Plus and get on that, because it's better than anything I've ever seen and everything my kids can watch. Yeah. So anyway, we watched HGTV, and it's hilarious because watching them critique the choices in the shows is my favorite thing. They're like, "Oh, who does that?" And they don't even know. Because they have their own preferences. I mean, they're not just mocking us or like mirroring us. They've decided they have their own preferences with design because they're 10 and they're girls. So now we know what looks nice, because they're basically going on 16. So and have been for a while. But it's like Annie, you said, watching your husband watch these shows, watching our kids watch like design shows is hilarious because they're so judgy, like so opinionated, I guess is a better word. So opinionated. They're not being mean to the people or anything, but they're so opinionated about their choices that they're just like screaming at the TV. Well, and it's hilarious.
Well, you're talking about the kids and their design. So
yeah, Teresa.
So we are, graphic designers, and we do a lot of that as part of business and things like that. But this is the stuff that brings us joy, especially
the creative side. Yeah,
the creative side. And so the girls have really caught on to those things, and really they're finding their own joy in doing their own thing. Yeah. And so we gave them their own space on Canva, which is a online software where they could just design. Yeah. And they go for it. We just released them. We taught them basically to try this, do this. Sometimes I help them with trying new things, and then I let them go. Yep. And they love that freedom. They love the freedom of just being able to design things. And look, you've heard us talk about, obviously my disease, but also some of the struggles that we've had with our daughter and some of the medical things that she's had to go through, which is constant pain.
Yeah, all the time.
One of the things, and this is the thing about her, she is the funny.
She's the clown.
She keeps up with you.
Oh my gosh. Well, she's been a clown since she was a baby. I mean, we have videos of her trying to make everyone laugh when she was, crawling. Right. I mean,
but she really finds peace and joy through creating things, and she has this engineer mind she has this real creative mind. So I believe God is giving that to her to counteract,
to manage
these things, because look, this pain puts her in
like the worst mood ever.
The worst mood. She finds herself in depression a lot of this time, just like anybody would be with constant pain. But she does. She finds a way to get herself out of it.
Yeah, she watches funny things. She keeps herself busy. She gets into her creative mode. She's writing a book. Like whatever she needs to do to kind of get herself motivated and sometimes distracted, sometimes just getting on progressing through something and make sure she's busy. And she does this intentionally all the time. And so it's like, and we see it work. I wanted to bring this up. Look at this. Can you vouch for this? Your sister says, playing jokes on people and acting crazy makes me laugh too. But sometimes when I play jokes on people, I overdo it and I get myself in trouble. So Monica,
yeah, I can see that,
is his sister. And all the stories I've heard about you, mostly is when people hurt themselves and then your response is just to crack up at that. Like,
I think that's just a family thing.
If my mom,
I don't know, my mom's still here. She likes scaring little kids.
But you got that from her because that's your favorite thing to do too. Yeah, ask your nephew. but you know, whatever makes you laugh. but there's this thing that we've taught we don't do it anymore because they overdid it. Our kids destroyed this because they did it so much. But we used to like jump out and scare the kids because it was super funny until they got older. Yeah. And then they started doing it to us. And I was like, I'm going to.
Yeah. And then, it's done. No more.
Well, because we were going to have a heart attack.
Yeah. I come home from the hospital. It's like,
because they're like, it's funny though. And we're like, well, because you have no governor because you're a kid. So anyway, it's just we have all these family things that we do that just crack us up. Everything's funny. Everything and it's not that we don't take anything seriously. It's that we don't take ourselves too seriously. Right. Because we know the power of not only laughing and finding joy, but finding the humor in things to take the burden off. It helps us surrender. It helps us, like we talked about last week, it helps us to give it to God. Because we're like, this is not only too heavy, God, but like nuts. What do you want me to do with this? This is crazy.
So this is something to add. I mean, you asked about the TV shows, but what is it?
Annie, I love scary. I can see that in you.
So what is it about daily life? Where do you find the humor?
Yeah.
Right. In things.
Some people watch in the airport. That's funny.
That's kind of funny too.
That's funny.
Right?
At the airport
I do that. I used
the
to
county
do that
fair. The county fair is a good place that people watch.
Yeah, but it's not as, I don't know.
The airport's good because there's people coming from everywhere.
Yeah. You get to see all these different types of people. Because I used to fly a lot. Yeah. And spend hours and hours on layovers.
So what's the funniest situation for you? Like, what do you find is the most funny or the most amusing to you in life? Like, what situations have you gotten yourself into, or just our daily situations where you just think this is going to be so funny because it's just so amusing to me, or I really enjoy myself because of just how interesting it is. Like there's definite. I know that when I go to the DMV, it's about to go down. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, oh, I'm going to have to wait. Like, I'm more interested in how funny it's going to be.
Right. And I think that's something that you've taught me over the years, is that you find comedy in almost everything, in everyday life. Yeah. And that's why you're so witty and because you always have a comeback no matter what in a bad situation or wherever you're at, or at a DMV.
Yeah.
And even when you're frustrated.
And and here's the other thing too. Like, I may be witty or like I have comebacks, but
at the same time you'll burn people alive.
I'm protective. Leave me alone. So, but I also have dad jokes. I have way more dad jokes than him.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So I'm always like, the Phil Dunphy of the house.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you've seen Modern Family, but Phil Dunphy is always like, dad jokes. And I'm totally that way. Like, I will just be literally walking around our bathroom. We're getting ready in the morning and he'll say something. And I'm like, right? I see what I did there. And he's like, And then our daughter is like, she prides herself on her puns.
Yeah, that's right.
She's like, I'm so punny. Like, it's her favorite thing. And so she'll be like, Mom, what's a good pun for this? And she's constantly figuring out a way to make something cheeky.
Yep.
She's sneaky cheeky.
That's your guys' love language right there.
Oh yeah.
Comedy, right?
Oh yeah.
It is just because she rivals you in your what is it?
The wit.
Your clownery.
Clownery. Oh, but here's the best part. And this is one of my favorite types of humor. Because I actually I have all that like in your face humor. But my favorite humor actually isn't puns and stuff. My favorite humor is that under the radar, like snarky cleverness, like
that's
where you never talk, but then all of a sudden something flies out of your mouth and it's the funniest thing anyone ever just said.
That's our other daughter.
So our other daughter, she just isn't a clown, but like she'll just be like, she's just that person sitting in the back of the room and she's like, and then she'll say something and everyone's like, what? Where did that come from? And it's the funniest thing anyone said the whole day. And it's so, because she's extremely observant. So anybody like Seinfeld. Yes. Extremely observant. And so she just will like throw something down. And so meanwhile, her sister's been just like, working the room, working hard.
She's really 𝗙ecie the bear. We call her 𝗙ecie the
so
bear.
Our one clown daughter is 𝗙ecie. She's like, waka waka. Like that's who she is, right? But then our other daughter has this like clever, dry humor. Well, she'll just lay the room out in one line. And then her sister's just like, there's no competition. She's like, I've been working hard this whole time. And you come in here with your under the radar humor. So I can't wait for them to be like teenagers with their humor. I know I just said I can't wait for them to be teenagers. I realize that's not,
Let's play this moment back.
I don't mean, we're going to record that. I can't wait for them to be teenagers. No, I don't mean in general. Just trust me. I don't mean in general. But their humor, who they are, their personalities are going to like move into a space when they're teenagers where it's going to be so funny.
But when they are teenagers, we can really mess with them.
Ooh, we can nail them. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I was talking to one of my friends yesterday on Marco Polo. I have this app called Marco Polo where you can leave like video messages, and she like hadn't gotten back to me in a while because she's super busy, and she has teenagers. So her teenagers, she's trying to leave me a video because on Marco Polo, you're essentially talking to yourself. She's like, hi. And she's talking to me and her son is behind her going, hi, how are you? I'm tired. Like, and so she's like this. So this is her face. She's like, right. And she's glaring him down and she's like, stop it. I'm trying to talk to my friend. He's like, what are you doing? And she's like, but I'm talking to myself, but I'm talking to my friends. Shut up. Stop it. Leave me alone. Right. And I go, why don't you not argue? What you need to do is wait until they're on the phone and be like, hi, how are you? And like destroy their call. Like our job as mothers is to destroy their like they have to be embarrassed at least once a day.
Oh, absolutely.
Like destroy their like credibility, like of their coolness. You have to destroy their coolness with their friends, like at least. But here's the problem. So the problem, but not problem with my kids. Because I was talking to her about this. I was like, why don't you do this? And I thought about it. And I thought, these girls, when they get older, I already can't embarrass them. So when they get older,
you have to step it up.
I'm going to have to really be a maniac in public. Like, because they like it. They're like, I like how weird you are. You're fun.
Right now they say that.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. But also though, they've mimicked me. So like, they're just as crazy and absurd. So I don't know if I will embarrass them or they will just get more friends like them. And then they'll all be like, your mom's hilarious. So it'll be like, oh, this didn't work.
Oh, okay. Favorite new show, but we've been watching.
But recent show.
Right. Recent show.
Favorite recent show.
Goldbergs.
Yep. I knew what you were going to say. Yeah. Goldbergs, if you haven't watched the show and you're like,
because it's back in the 80s.
It's the 80s.
Oh my gosh.
And the humor and writing is hysterical. Okay, so one of the reasons why,
and you're a Goldberg mom for sure.
I'm definitely the mom sometimes, but the reason why it's so funny is the writers. First of all, this guy's real life. He took all the episodes. There's all like backup video at the end of the episode. They show what actually happened in their real life. So he grew up with this actual family called the Goldbergs. His name's Goldberg. Okay, and he's a filmmaker now. But so they go through his life. Like their actual family life. And it's hilarious. But the writing, there'll be something totally like obvious and absurd. And the dialogue that they've written for the character will actually say it out loud. And it's hard to explain what I mean. They'll be like, I feel very joyful right now because I shouldn't, but I do. And like, or I'm really mad, but I don't know why. And I shouldn't, but I do. And they'll say the obvious thing, but they do it in a way that's like the way we think, but they're thinking out loud.
Right.
And it's so clever and well written. And the family is, she's a Yenta. So they're Jewish. Okay. Goldberg. And she's got all these Yenta friends and, oh, it's so good. Anyway, but it's super funny because of just the way that it's written, but it's also in the 80s. So a lot of 80s references and all the things that went on. And
some of it, it's funny because some of it's a stretch and like, wait a second,
that didn't happen in
that
the
didn't
80s.
happen in the 80s.
And they'll like
that
sneak
way.
in stuff. But yeah, so it's not just movies and stand-up. Like there's shows where we will like religiously watch. A lot of people go, well, if you want to be successful, don't watch TV. And I'm like, don't watch 6 hours a day of TV. But we have definite escapes that we use for just this thing. Like we need to like wind down in the evening, and we just.
I was joking around with CL yesterday. I was watching his broadcast last night, and he was giving this great, amazing teaching, and basically he was ending it, and he was talking about, not sitting around binge watching, not distracting. He was talking about, just allowing
time wasting.
Time wasting. And I'm like, what? Wait, no TV? Are you serious? No. I was gonna say, well, I'm out. Yeah, but his point was exactly that. It's fine to have a little bit of TV or that mind break or whatever else, but not letting it be that that thing that dominates you, because then what happens is you allow that to be your distraction,
your crutch, actually.
And it's your crutch.
Yeah.
And then you become not productive.
Well, so this thing where we're talking about making sure that like you're laying in bed and you're at a point where you're like, what do I do with my life? And so, getting something on your phone where you're watching something, it doesn't mean this is your way to stay in bed.
Yeah.
This is your way to get out of bed is what it is.
Yeah.
This is your way to get out of that. This is the way to bridge yourself from where you are to where you want to be, more easily, because your brain automatically changes.
Right. So we're talking a lot about TV shows, but what I would encourage you to do is, those TV shows, they feed us, they make us funny, but that's just one thing. That's just one element of what God has allowed to put, that has put us in, that God has put in front of us, that feeds us, that gives us joy.
Well, there's books,
but there's more to that, because there's books. There is life outside your house.
Yeah. And
now that some of us are able to start to get out, there are things that we can do outdoors, right?
Yeah. Outside.
and sometimes we have to shove our kids outside and enjoy life and the things that God has truly given us. Because let's be honest, there's some, and the reason why I want to point that out, because there's some trash TV. And there's some trash TV that we both still want to watch or whatever.
And we're like, maybe not.
But we sit down and then we watch those things. And then what do? If we, like today, I want to watch Star Wars all day long, and it's the holiday, so might as well. Right.
But that's not what's going to happen, actually.
But at the end of the day, if I do that, I will be upset at myself because I have a ton of things to do.
Yeah.
I have a lot of other things that need to get done. So I'm not going to be productive. I'm not moving things forward in my life. I'm not, I'm not going to sacrifice my workout for that. I can't do that. I can't afford to do that.
Right.
If I sit around, what happens if I sit around on the couch? I fall into old habits. Oh, I want a snack. Hey, let's get this snack and this snack and this snack. Start eating and just watching TV, and then pretty soon that's gone. Well, I need more.
Yeah.
And then you've gained 10 pounds. So then you start feeling bad for yourself.
And no one's laughing at that.
Hating your dad bod, right? So and that's not funny, right? So what I'm saying is that we do need to fill that bank, but it can't be just that one thing. It can't be just, sitting back and vegging out on TV.
Don't blame me. Don't be like, they said to watch a lot of TV and laugh.
Yeah, exactly. Disclaimer.
This is only without, around the things you're responsible for.
It's just one thing is we find. Look, we like, which we haven't done, it seems like forever, but we like just getting out and going to car shows. I love cars. I love what people do to their cars, their creativity.
Classic
That's
car
why
shows.
we like it, because they're being creative with their
It's the
cars,
design, yeah.
or they're nurturing something that's very classic and taking care of it. And
Well, and you're a car
restoring.
guy, so
Right.
I mean,
So we enjoy the creativity and the dedication that
Mhm.
people do in their vehicles. And sometimes we like just driving around the neighborhood. Girls love this too. Driving around the neighborhood, looking at these great neighborhoods, these beautiful
nice
homes,
houses, and looking at their landscaping. And stuff.
Right.
Yeah, like getting ideas for our house.
Stuff, but that gives us joy. That
Yeah.
gives us some peace in the day. So only thing I'm asking, and what we're saying, and this week I think, is trying to find that laughter, trying to find that joy in your life,
Right?
That will counteract all the other junk that's going around,
Right,
in your circle right now.
So yeah, I think we can end there. This is going to be a really good week.
Holy cow! It's gone an hour. Wow.
See, time flies when you're having fun.
I didn't even know it was an hour.
Wow. Yeah. But you know what? This is the thing. This is what we want to do more of. We really want to do more of, like, what are we looking to do? What are we looking to say? How are we looking to live, guys? And we were really looking forward to this week's devotional because we really want to do more of this. And we want you to feel more of this, to feel more hopeful and joyful, right? And whatever is amusing to you, whatever is fulfilling to you, whatever is hilarious, like go after it, because it's going to make your mind be in a different place, a better place. Yes, there's lots of inspiring things that we can watch that are very uplifting, very empowering and encouraging. But sometimes we just need to laugh so hard that it just forces our body to create the endorphins and the good hormones in our body and our good outlook, just because we're happy. We're actually happy when we're laughing.
Yeah.
So if something's funny to you, laugh, find those things. So, and
go
your
watch
life.
some cat videos today. Go watch some videos on babies laughing.
Go watch some videos about goats.
Right. And, get outside.
Yeah.
Get outside and enjoy what God has given us.
Absolutely.
all. Right. So look, if this struck a chord with you today, if this is something that you really identify with, I hope this has put a smile on your face today. And, this week, I look forward to this week. But hit like and share this. If you know someone that needs not take themselves so seriously, share this devotional with them. That we're going to do this. To me, is just a new twist. Everybody is, when they share their devotionals or they talk about the devotionals or do their devotionals, it's very serious. It's very, it should be
powerful.
Yeah, it should be something that moves our soul. But
when you're happy, it's easier to deal with hard things.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly right. So anyway, I'm about to sneeze. So I'm gonna let you go.
He's about to sneeze. Oh, watch out. When he sneezes, it's like 5 in a row. All right, which is also funny. So thanks so much for watching this, you guys. We love your support. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel now live, streaming there, please hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you'll get notified next time we go live. And we absolutely love your support there too. Make sure you comment and you like there, and we'd love to start to get to know you. All right. Have an amazing day. God bless.
Have a good one.